Alright, the first step in replacing the pickups is to loosen up the strings and take the old pickups out. So I just used a string winder and I loosened the strings so that there's quite a bit of slack here. You can see that they're really loose. I don't want to take the strings all the way off because right after putting the new pickups in, we're going to have to restring the guitar to check for pull piece alignment with the strings. So like I said, make them real loose, and then I'm just going to wedge something in there to hold the strings up and out of place. For example, stick a screwdriver in there. Or, since I need the screwdriver, I'm just going to use this roll of blue tape and stick it in there. Versatile stuff, this blue tape. Alright, so with that in place, I'm just going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to loosen up the screws on the old pickups and I'm going to pull them out of there. So when you pull the pickup out, it's a good idea to take a pen and mark on the back of it which pickup it is. Now you can see this pickup already says neck on the back of it, but I'm going to write it on there anyway because I've seen the backs of these pickups before and both the neck and the middle say neck on them. So I'm going to write neck on this one and I'm going to write middle on the other one. Now I'm just going to pull this wire all the way through since I've already removed all the electronics from the guitar. However, if you want to keep the electronics in and all you're doing is changing the pickups, you can, if you want, just cut the wire behind the pickup. Leave yourself a little bit of slack, say a couple inches, hanging off of the pickup so that you can reuse these pickups later if you decide to put them back in. And then when you bring in your new pickup, you can just connect the new pickup's wires to the old wire without having to take all the electronics out of the guitar. Now the pickups I'm going to be looking at are Vintage Vibe Guitars pickups, and even though these are in a dog-eared body, he's designed it with 4 screws here that allow you to adjust the pickup assembly up and down independently of the body. It's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and slide this in here. This is the neck, and first of all I'm going to get a little blanket here to protect the finish of the guitar, so I can just sit this down here while I run the wire through. So I'm just going to run the wire through the channels that have been routed here in the body and shove this on through. And then here's a good idea to have some needle nose pliers handy to grab the wire and just pull it on through. Okay, so I just want to sit it down in here. So what I'm hoping to do here is see whether I can reuse the existing holes from the previous pickups or whether I'm going to have to drill new ones. So what I'm going to do is lay the strings back down where they belong, and I'm going to position this over the prior screw holes. And what you can see here is that they do seem to line up and it seems to fit okay. The next thing to check, however, is the string to pole piece alignment. You can see that the high E and B are not too bad. The strings pass pretty closely over the pole pieces. But as the get into the lower strings here, like the low E, you can see the string just completely misses the pole piece entirely. Same is true for the A. And the D and the G to some extent. I mean, they're a little bit closer. But what this is telling me is that we're going to need to shift this pickup. Clearly the holes in the dog ears don't match where they were in the old pickup. So if I can shift this pickup a little bit further to this side of the guitar to get a better compromise so that more of each pole piece is underneath each string. You know, there's no perfect solution because the spacing of the strings doesn't match the spacing of the pole pieces, unfortunately. But you can see if I shift it over by about, you know, not too much, by about 16th of an inch or so, it looks better. Now, since I'm going to need to drill new holes, I can see right here that the new hole I will be drilling is very close to the old hole. In fact, it overlaps with the old hole. Now, if I just take my drill bit and try to drill that hole right now, it's just going to make a big messy hole since it overlaps with the old one. The screw won't be able to hold tightly in that hole. So before I can drill, I need to fill the old one. So that means I need to take this this pickup out again, and I'm going to fill all the holes since I'm going to be needing to move the other pickups as well relative to their old holes. You can see why I like leaving the strings on nice and loose like this, because there's a lot of taking the pickups in and out as we do this process. So let's go ahead and take this pickup out again. Just use my finger to pull the strings up. Set that aside for now. And the next step is to fill these holes. Now, it's a good idea to figure out what size they are currently. These holes are just about 3/32 of an inch. So what you can do, two choices. One is take a dowel like this. This is a 1/8 inch dowel that I just bought at Walmart. It was 25 cents. And we can use a drill bit to enlarge these holes to 1/8 of an inch, then glue in the dowel and cut it off so that it's nice and smooth and wait for it to dry. If you can't find an 1/8 inch dowel, another choice is some filler like this, which has a very sharp tip. You can cut off the tip and then press it into the hole and just squeeze it and fill the hole up and wait for it to dry, and then you can drill through that okay. And I just noticed something here. On this guitar, the factory drilled these 3 holes. Well, actually it's these 2. They are too close to the edge of the routed recess, and they actually broke through when they were drilling, or probably when they screwed the screw into the hole. It pushed some of the wood out. Really bad in this one. The wood is just falling away. So that ain't going to work. If I try to enlarge in that hole with an 1/8 inch drill bit and put a dowel in there, it's just going to make it even worse. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just take some sharp cutters and cut the tip off here. I'm going to take the tip and I'm just trying to cut the very, very end off so it stays nice and sharp. Like that. Now before I push that filler in, let's stick a piece of blue tape over here and poke a hole in it. Just like that. So that if there's any squeeze out, it'll go onto the blue tape and not onto the body of the guitar, and I don't have to worry about a messy cleanup. So I'm just going to take it and squeeze it down in there. I can actually see it coming out the side there. That area where I said it had broken through the side of the routed recess. Stick some blue tape over that as well. Just kind of keep on squeezing it on in there until it starts coming out the top. You know you're done. And we'll go ahead and repeat this on the other 5 holes and then wait for it to dry.